evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can everybody hear me okay? Yes? Okay. This is the May 19th regular meeting of the Stonington Planning and Zoning Commission. Thanks to all the members of the public for coming tonight. Thanks to our very reliable and dedicated commissioners for being here as well. I'm Chuck Sheehan, I'm the chairman. Let the minutes show that the meeting was called to order at 7 p.m. We'll have two alternates seated tonight. Lindsay Fairchild and Morgan Yandel will both be seated. I've not heard from Alicia Morrison. If she does come in while the meeting's in progress, Morgan, you would, at that point, cease to be a regular member and go back to alternate staff. What's the commission's pleasure on item 3, minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for meeting number 1821 from April 21st, 2026 as submitted.
Motion to approve the April 21st minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Minutes are approved. Public comment. This is an opportunity for anyone who wishes to speak on a matter that is not on the agenda. Again, not on the agenda. Just come up. The mic is yours. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Steve Hobeka, Velvet, 19 Velvet Lane.
Good to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate your past help in our traffic and issues, and we definitely want to resolve this moving forward. And if there's I know we're waiting for OSTA to finish their project.
Correct. OSTA and DOT working. Well, OSTA is an arm of DOT.
Right.
Yeah, and they are working, at everyone's request from your initial request. So we appreciate the thoughtful input, and it resulted in this next step, which will probably result in several recommendations. I imagine those recommendations will come before this board, but I'm not certain on that.
Okay. Well,
But we are involved.
all right. Well, thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to OSTA and DOT completing their efforts in a timely manner.
Thank you for being so patient.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anyone else wish to speak under public comment?
Yes, I'm Mark Keppel. I'm here to speak on the Pine Street construction at 2 Pine Street. At the opening of the major retaining wall hearing, Commissioner Resendiz asked, at some point, can someone just talk about how we got here? That comment resonated with me. I'm certain the Commission is aware that the original permit was issued depicting an 8-foot wall with a disclaimer not to exceed 4 feet 11 inches. In fact, every site plan submitted by Mr. Chimento to this day depicts an 8-foot major retaining wall. However, I'm not certain the Commission is aware that the original permit was amended on November 12th to remove that 4-foot 11-inch limitation. As the ZEO noted on the amended permit, quote, to reflect accurate description of zoning application. Without the amendment to the original permit, Mr. Chimento could not even apply for a special use permit for a major wall. On 2 occasions, Mr. Chimento has constructed the wall in excess of the limitation of 4 feet 11 inches without any issue of a violation. Staff's report today states Mr. Chimento was made aware of the complaint as the permit remains open and the site is still under construction in violation of your regulations. Why is construction allowed to continue when the CEO and owner and now the commission are aware that the wall exceeds 5 feet? Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Do you have a copy of that for us, sir? Thank you very much. Appreciate your comments, thank you. Anyone else wish to make a public comment under item 4? Hearing none, we'll move to item 5. We have 2 regular members absent this evening, and I'm going to move appointment, it's actually election of a secretary until the next meeting. So if we could put that on the next agenda, Manuel.
Sure.
Thank you. Reports, anything, Manuel?
Yeah, the only thing is that tomorrow night we have the CCOG seminar for Public Act 25-1 at 6:30 p.m. It's online, so it's for the commission members to attend.
Thank you. Does everybody have the information on how to connect? I think Adriana sent it out in the last couple of days, actually.
It's the same subject as a bunch of us attended another one
that's
at
a
the
couple
It's
months
attorney.
updated though, you know, all the new state statutes on housing will be discussed.
Oh, okay.
And so there's a lot of new information. Anything else, sir?
Nope, that's it.
Anything for the good of the order of the commission? Okay, you have a copy of the zoning enforcement violations report. Brings us to administrative review. First item on administrative review, Ryan, would you mind reading for me?
26-107 ZON, Town of Stonington, Kent Plus Frost, care of C. Frost. Administrative review for minor site modifications to previously approved master plan PZ2308ZC, SPA CAM, property located at 123 Germanville Avenue, Mystic Assessors Map 172, Block 1, Lot 1, Zone MHD.
Evening, Mr. Frost.
Good evening, Commissioners. Again, for the record, my name is Chad Frost with Kent Frost Landscape Architecture here on behalf of the town of Stonington for Boathouse Park. In front of you, we have a very minor change, as was noted by the neighbor earlier under public comment. The town of Stonington is undergoing and under review with OSTA to revise at least the northern driveway for Boathouse Park for the entrance as it comes in. As you might recall, when you originally approved this a few years ago, we had it shown allowing left-hand turns in. When it went through the state process in OSTA, they removed that ability and narrowed it down to eliminate the left-hand turns for northbound traffic. They did the same for the Delamar. As we've seen, there's been issues with that at the Delamar Hotel. The police took a bunch of stats and has sent that on to OSTA, which has now instigated this new process. We've been made aware that they're in the process of rendering that decision. We're hoping to have it within 3 months. However, work on the project is progressing, right? And they're out there working on it. We're hoping to have the park open within the next month. So anticipating some of the changes that might be coming to that northern entrance, we advise the town not to put in some of the materials in that approved plan, basically the concrete sidewalk and the granite curbing that align with the OSTA approved plan, and instead put in bituminous materials, so bituminous sidewalk and bituminous curb for that area, anticipating the town will have to be ripping it out and replacing it with the new design that OSTA approves sometime either later this summer, fall, or even next spring. So we wanted to do the temporary materials, wanted to make you aware of that temporary material change. That's hopefully, just a few months in duration before we get the new plans from OSTA. And that's really my simple report today. Any questions?
Just point of order. You have all your Corps of Engineer permits, right?
Oh, yeah.
Project?
Yep,
Okay. That's no small task.
not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
and if
any
you
questions
think about
from?
The living, sorry, just to follow up on that, the living shoreline is nearing completion. So the soils are all in place, the cap has been done as far as remediation goes. Living shoreline's in, planting goes in the next couple weeks.
Very nice job all around.
Thank you.
And the building, completes the line of structures there. It's just like a continuation of the seaport. Really, really segues nicely. Any questions for Chad Frost? Any input from staff?
Nope, it looks acceptable.
Okay. We had some earlier concerns that were expressed about this application from some of the neighbors across the street, and they have graciously withdrawn their concerns in light of the progress that's been made on their issues. And the only thing I would ask is that we have the full support from the Seaport on anything that comes out of that OSTA review for Velvet Lake.
Absolutely.
Okay. What's the commission's pleasure on the application of Town of Stonington?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the application for the Town of Stonington 26-107ZON as submitted, no stipulations.
Motion to approve without any stipulations. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Chair abstains.
Thank
Motion
you.
passes. Thank you, Chuck. Whalers Inn,
Go ahead and read that.
Ryan, would you mind reading the next?
For 26-109ZON Whalers Inn, RE LLC, A. Arling Carlson, administrative review for minor site modifications to establish outdoor patio seating, property located at 11 Cottrell Street, Mystic, Assessors Map 182, Block 4, Lot 4, Zone DB5.
Hello, I'm Amanda Arling, president of Hybrid Hospitality Group. Talking into nothing. Do you want me over here?
Yeah, sorry.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Amanda Arling, president, Heidenreich Hospitality Group, Whalers Inn, RE, LLC. Yeah, we have submitted an application for extended patio seating on the green parcel, the grassy parcel adjacent to 11 Cottrell Stanton House. Happy to answer any questions you might have or explain or elaborate on our proposal in more detail.
Any questions of the applicant from the commission?
Just one quick question, just out of curiosity, how late would the outdoor patio be used or available, I guess?
We wouldn't intend to utilize the space past 9 p.m. It's really supporting our guests that are staying on site, and given the hotel room proximity, we have no intention of keeping it a late night locale.
Any further questions from the commission? Dave, go ahead.
Why does this have to come before us? It seems simple, like staff could take care of this.
Well, I think it falls into a classification where, in this particular case, it is probably insignificant.
Yeah,
But
not a change of use or anything.
But if we
No.
treat
They
all
could sit on the
applicants
grass.
equally, there are cases where outdoor seating could be very controversial if it were like, let's say, immediately abutting a residence, in those types of situations where I think you would want to take a look at. But it's a good question, Dave. If there's no further discussion and no staff
No
input,
questions for staff.
what is the commission's pleasure on the application of Whalers Inn?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the application 26-109ZON Whalers Inn Incorporated RE LLC A. Arling Carlson as submitted with no stipulations.
A motion to approve by Ryan with no stipulations. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Dave, thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The chair abstains, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Under new business, item A, 2026 Plan of Conservation and Development, SLR presentation. And at the conclusion, we have to vote to accept or reject.
Absolutely.
Can we test the sound again, please? Hold on one sec. We missing the audio portion of this presentation. Is the other side of the screen visible to everybody in the audience? Two screens on the end. Okay, try to get the other first.
Okay, testing,
There we go.
points that I want to call out from this executive summary. Just out of the gate, the POCD is meant to guide decision-making in the town over the next 10 years. That is what the POCD is meant to do, and hopefully you'll find that it does so. The POCD and this executive summary outline vision, themes, 3 themes, strategies to address those themes, and then actions, basically an implementation schedule to put those strategies into action. The vision, if you can't read it, I'll read it for you. Stonington is a community that nurtures its people, places, and possibilities. Stonington values connections to the historic villages, working waterfronts, and natural landscapes that make the community unique. To that end, SLR, with the community's help, has focused on 3 overarching themes. Those themes are nurture, celebrate, and sustain. Nurture is an opportunity through thoughtful growth to support vibrant local businesses, to advance diverse affordable housing options, and to build an economy that reflects both innovation and tradition. Celebrate. Stonington celebrates its culture, landscape, and historic charm. Stonington is a community shaped by connection to the sea, diverse heritage, and creativity. Stonington honors and celebrates the stories, diversity, and shared spirit that bring Stonington together and enrich its residents' daily lives. And then finally, sustain. The 3rd theme, sustain. Stonington sustains future generations. It commits to long-term environmental, fiscal, and social sustainability, promoting responsible stewardship of resources, sound financial management, and policies that ensure Stonington's continued resilience and prosperity. So those are the 3 overarching themes of the POCD. The remainder of the executive summary follows those pretty closely. It does follow closely. The overview, so we've been working with you all since spring 2025. Since that time, we've had an opportunity to do some baseline review and assessment of what makes Stonington wonderful and what could make Stonington even better. We've put up a community survey. Based on that survey, we've developed a community profile and outlined some existing conditions based on census data and state data. And we also held 2 open houses in the community. Based on all that information, we moved on to visioning and strategizing. So we held roundtable meetings with many of you. Taylor and I enjoyed an educational seminar not too long ago with many of you. We also held another open house event to recommend to propose draft strategies, policies, and actions based on feedback received at that open house. Those are the themes, the vision themes, strategies, and actions that you see today. So we are now at final plan adoption. We've done our work. We hope you like our work. We hope you feel like you've been a partner in that work. It's not us pushing our ideas. It's really helping you to collect your thoughts, and the POCD reflects those. But it's up to PCC now. Maybe I'll switch over my screen here to just think about where we are in the process. Let's see. I guess you're not seeing that yet. Let me try to share a different screen. Wrong screen. Whatever. Okay. So this is more or less a schedule where we are. So we are here, May 19th. PCC hopefully votes and approves substantial completion. From there, on Friday, SLR will transmit to the Board of Selectmen and to CCOG, the POCD. From there, there's a 65-day review period. So in that time, CCOG reviews and issues a consistency report, and then the Board of Selectmen votes to endorse or reject the plan. There may be a public hearing if the Board of Selectmen so desires. And that would have to happen sometime in those 65 days. June 30th is the deadline to file the like to go. The executive summary is only 8 pages. Basically, I can detail each of the themes, and you could take a look at the strategies, and we include with the future land use map is where the executive summary is. Would you like to see that, or would you like to close the presentation and discuss?
Show of hands in the audience of whether or not you would like to see it. We've all seen it, so.
Okay, great.
But no, just hold on one second. Show of hands in the audience if you'd like to go through the executive summary. So I think we'll pass. The commission has all had an opportunity. We all received it, had an opportunity to review it. So we've got a busy agenda here this evening, and I think we'll move on. Just one comment on the schedule you presented. Does that allow us to submit to OPM within the extension date?
It does. So the September 1st, I'm going to pull it back up.
Okay.
The September 1st schedule, so that is, that does give us a little bit of room, particularly the August 4th date gives us a little bit of room. Is really the date to keep in mind, because the 65-day review period starts on Friday. So we'd have a little room if we need to get back into the weeds, but yes, we do have some time.
Thank you, and it should be noted that we've had a lot of positive feedback on SLR's work on this. So kudos to SLR and the team.
It's great to hear. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next item on the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
I'm sorry, I apologize. We need to vote to accept or reject.
So, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept the 2026 Plan of Conservation and Development as substantially complete and proceed to the next step in the process.
Motion to accept by Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded. Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed to the motion? The chair votes to accept.
If I may, you also need to schedule the public hearing for August 4th.
Okay, another motion, Ryan?
Yes, you need a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to schedule a public hearing for the 2026 Plan of Conservation and Development to be presented at the public hearing on August 4th, 2026.
Does that do it, Manuel, that motion?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Anyone opposed? No abstentions. The motion passes unanimously. Anything else we need to do under this item?
No, that's all you have to do.
Now, these next two items are here just to be accepted under new business?
Yeah. It's a little confusing.
Yes, that's correct.
This, the reason I'm asking is the agenda is out of order from what we normally see, and I understand why. It's because we had the Plan of Conservation and Development.
Right.
So we need a motion to accept items 7B and 7C.
Okay, just to proceed, they're not going to actually have a hearing, just to accept them as applications and proceed forward?
Is there anyone here under those applications?
Yeah, I don't think so. Okay.
No, they're just, these are normally appear
At the bottom.
at the
Yeah.
bottom of the
Yeah.
agenda. And so it's just a motion to accept and then they get scheduled.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept the following two applications that have been submitted. The first one is PZ 2614 SUP R. Strazetta, and then PZ 2615 Cam Dickerman J. Bernardo.
Motion to accept items 7B and 7C on the agenda under new business. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Thank you both. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Chair abstains. Motion passes. Okay. That moves us to public hearings. Would you please read items 8A, right?
Yes. For public hearing, PZ 2608 SPA plus CAM Seaport Marine Incorporated, H. Bordson, site plan application and coastal area management review for redevelopment and site improvements to support flood management and resiliency, public boardwalk access, utilities, and parking. Properties are located at 2, 4, 10, and 18 Washington Street and 62 Willow Street, Mystic. M/B/L 182-1 16/12/8/6. Property is located in the MC 80 zone.
Need a motion to open the public hearing?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to open the public hearing for this application.
Motion to open, is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to open. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion, the public hearing is in session. Counselor.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. For the record, my name is John Casey. I'm a partner with the law firm of Robinson and Cole, and we represent the applicant here tonight, Waterford Group LLC. With me at the table is Harry Bordson. Abby Bordson's also here somewhere. And also joining us is Steve Benben, professional engineer from Triton Environmental, who will give our engineering presentation this evening. As Mr. DC read in the call, this is a coastal site plan for site improvements at the Seaport Marine property at Willow and Washington Streets in downtown Mystic. Let me just note for the record that notices to the abutters were sent on May 1st, and Adriana acknowledged receipt of those, so I think we're all set with notice for this hearing. Are we all set? Manuel? We're all set? Okay, thank you. So people are probably familiar with this property. It's an existing marina. It's been a marina for decades. It's been, it has Red 36 on it, a popular local restaurant you're probably familiar with, and it suffered a catastrophic fire in 2002. And since then, the owners have been considering ways to redevelop the property. This is a step in that process, and its focus is on the shoreline, which for the most part will be regulated by DEP. Everything from the bulkheads out will require a DEP permit. That work will include dredging, the removal of one of the peninsulas there to create more berthing space at the marina, to provide more transient berthing for people to come visit the village. It also includes a proposal to have a public access walkway along the shorefront from Cottrell Street, Washington Street intersection all the way over to the Red 36 site, which will provide an amenity for the public that they currently don't have. If you want to go to Red 36 or just walk further along the river, well, you really aren't supposed to walk further on the property. You'd be trespassing at this point, except for a very small portion at the very corner of the property. But otherwise, people have to go up and around and down Willow Street, and this will rectify that. So with that, I want to turn it over to Steve Benben to go over the site plan and the proposed improvements.
Good evening, everyone. Stephen Benben, professional
I think you
engineer.
need a microphone.
Do we have another microphone?
You won't be able to.
There's one here.
This is not going to reach.
Best one.
Maybe change seats. just-
Yeah, yep.
Sorry, that works.
Or just come join us.
That works too. Make some room.
Yep.
Lonely over there.
Thank you.
No, it's fine. It's more for them than public, not for me. Do I have to hold it down or is it just?
Turn it back on. Yep.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Stephen Benben. I'm a professional engineer with Triton Environmental. We're the civil engineers on this project. So we did the the layout and the grading, drainage, design, utility layouts, erosion control plans, everything that was in the site package that's been submitted. So, as we said, we're going to be redeveloping the property. Currently, it is just a large open gravel area used for parking right now, public parking. The plan here, the upland portion of the work that's subject to the commission approval, is to formalize that parking area with new formalized parking spaces, new landscaping. It'll be ADA compliant, it meets all the town requirements for the parking, for perimeter landscaping, screening to some of the residential properties nearby. So we're not asking for any variances or exemptions for the project. So to facilitate access to the property, the parcel, Willow Street is actually going to be widened to the full 24 feet to in conformance with the town road standards. So it'll become a formal two-way street. The owner is actually allowing easement onto their property. So the eastern side, as shown on the drawing, will remain the same, and then it'll be actually widened onto the property to the west. So that'll be fully paved, two-way street sidewalks on the west side. Coming off of Willow Street, you'll enter a new gravel parking lot. We'll have, as I said, interior landscaping for the requirements. We are proposing 108 new parking spaces, including 5 ADA parking spaces. There's also accommodations there for EV parking as well. The entirety of the parking area will be gravel, with the exception of the area that will service the ADA spaces, to provide those spaces with the pavement for access for the ADA accessible route that will then allow them to access the river walk along the new bulkhead. We're also proposing new sidewalks along the south side of Washington Street. So that'll run from Cottrell Avenue and tied into the town's proposed sidewalk improvements on Washington Street, just around between 17 and 21 Washington Street. There's a small area that will actually have a raised platform that will allow pedestrians to stay on the sidewalk, but will not impact the wetlands that abuts right up against Washington Street. So that area will actually be elevated to allow for storm drainage improvements that the town is doing, and also to not be filling or impacting the wetlands that are directly in that area. There will also be going to be new lighting in addition to the landscaping, so that will allow for evening use of the parking area. So there'll be new street lights along Willow Street, and then the interior to the parking area as well. Again, all night sky compliant, everything's facing down, there's no light trespass outside the property, with the exception of portion of the project that, so the property will be serviced by electric and water. In order to facilitate that, the owner has opted to actually convert all of the overhead electric service lines that run along Willow Street up to Washington, and then all along Washington down to Jackson, from Cottrell Street all the way down to Jackson Ave, to be removing the utility poles and overhead lighting and converting that to underground electric. So those will provide new services to I believe 5 residences on Washington Street that currently have overhead. They'd be connected with new underground services, and then the internal parcel area will also have underground electric that may serve the marina area. The lighting that we're proposing right now is all solar powered. So we're not anticipating new underground electric to service those. They would be solar-powered lighting. Stormwater drainage, so there, right now, where the water, the facility drains, a portion of it goes directly to the river, and then a portion of it from Willow Street flows to, there's a tidal area on the east side of Willow Street where that water flows now. So we're maintaining those drainage patterns, but we're actually going to be reducing the overall peak flows and volume discharged through the use of 8 rain gardens on site. So the kind of eye-shaped islands inside the parking area will be designed as water quality rain gardens. And then the buffer strip between Willow Street and the parking will also be designed to treat stormwater as well. So again, will be so that the water that collects in the parking area that doesn't get to the rain gardens will be collected by new stormwater catch basins. All of that will be tied together to 3 new outfalls through the Mystic River through the new bulkhead after that's installed.
ENS controls.
Yep, ENS controls, thank you. We're using standard ENS controls here. There will be the dredgings that come up out of the river will be placed upland. That will be surrounded with conventional type erosion control measures, so fences, hay bales, filter socks. We'll have perimeter controls and inlet controls at any new catch basins and any existing structures that may be nearby, just for added protection. We don't anticipate any issues with discharge. The site itself is just under 4 acres. So we anticipate that we most likely will not need a stormwater permit from DEP. But once if for some reason we do go above that, then we would have to register for the stormwater general permit through DEP.
Can you touch on the coastal?
For the coastal, So for the Coastal Management Act, the entire facility and the whole area of Mystic is in the floodplain. The base flood elevation here is elevation 11. So the maximum elevation that we're proposing, putting any new grading, fill like that from the upland is about elevation 8.5. So again, even with that, the entire area in downtown essentially could flood up to elevation 11. So we are in, like I said, a floodplain. But what we're doing, again, we're not impacting any of the coastal resources. It is a waterfront development site. It'll continue to provide. It'll continue to be a waterfront property with those services. So we're not really impacting any of the coastal resources that might be in this area. We're really rebuilding some bulkheads that were there previously, and then again formalizing the parking area. We have gone through 2 rounds of comments with the town engineer. We did make revisions. The plan set that's been submitted had some minor revisions to some of the stormwater that was requested, and full drainage report was provided as well. There are still a couple of items that are outstanding with the town engineer. However, nothing that we can't satisfy. So we would expect that we could get those as conditions of approval. The town engineer has accepted our proposed responses, our proposed changes to the plans, and does not have any other technical changes, things like that are outstanding, that can't be accommodated.
So I think that's right.
Yeah.
The landscaping component to the project?
Yes, so I don't know if you can see it, but the green space that's on here, it's all landscape islands. pull it up, but there are interior landscape islands, and there's a perimeter buffer that have trees along the perimeter. There are trees and in the islands themselves. So there's your landscape plan. So that identifies the larger trees around the perimeter, and then along between the river walk and the parking areas would be more low shrubs. And then again, the islands themselves would either have either use river stone in the rain gardens, or there's a pollinator mix that was also suggested by the town engineer.
I have a question. So will the parking there, is that just for people who are using the marina resources, or would the public be able to park there as well?
The public as well.
Public as well?
Public parking, yeah.
So, maybe I missed it, but this is a really expensive parking lot for, I'm guessing there's some future project coming. Do you want to tell us what that is? I mean, it's 108 spaces. I listened to your presentation at the last meeting, sorry I wasn't here, but it basically said most of this boating was going to be transient boaters, and so they didn't need the parking. So, I mean, Mystic would love 108 parking spaces, but
And you get them.
is this going to be open to the public forever, or is this just until phase 2 comes around? Or
Well, I'll start, and then Harry can. So the issue we have is with DEP. Right now the focus, you said it's an expensive parking lot. It's actually going to be a very expensive marina redevelopment. The whole edge of the marina, the docks, the piers are all going to be rebuilt and brought up to new standards, that people expect when they're either paying for a slip for the season, or they're coming in and they want to tie up and stay in Mystic for a night, a week, or something like that. So all those amenities. So that, in order to do that, we need to get the upland, in shape. And so that's the first step. I will get to, I know there's comments in the DEP comment letter, speculating gratuitously about what may be presented here. And we know there was an application in the past, but right now, before this commission, this is the application. If there's something in the future, there might be, there probably will be, but there's nothing planned, there's nothing designed. Nothing's going to happen here. It'll stay like this until this project is approved and the owners can move forward and start to make, fix up the lot and make investments on what they have. Is that good? Yeah.
Anyone else have any questions for the applicant?
No. Yeah, I do. Regarding the boat launch that was there previously, the Cartot boat launch, I know that there were safety concerns, and there is another boat launch right down on Isham. That one unfortunately doesn't have much in the way of parking, whereas you're providing some awesome parking that potentially kayakers and boaters could use. Really sad to lose that access for the neighborhood. Have you thought about putting in another boat launch on the other side of the property, or what are the thoughts on that?
Well, it's funny, there's two things going on there. So one, at this site, that was never an authorized boat launch for paddle boards or anything.
Correct.
And we have, Harry went back and, went over this with Candy Palmer, because we know there were some questions about it in the past, but it was never authorized, it was never safe. That's an old marine railroad. So there's steel railroad, they're not railroad ties, they're railroad rails, there. So I think it was informally used, and and I think the owners maybe turned a bit of a blind eye for time, just to let it happen. But it's really not safe, and the design, the new design, that won't be incorporated. That area won't be incorporated anymore as a launching area. And I think even in Candy's comments in the staff report, she notes that the public access is pedestrian access only. It was always pedestrian access when Red 36 was approved. There was some misunderstandings about what that was, but going back and putting the record together, Candy's been 100% certain that and even checked back with Deep, that it was always pedestrian public access on that far north pier. That was the access that was approved at the time of Red 36, and now what's proposed is to really extend that access across the whole property. So we feel like the public access is greatly improved from a pedestrian point of view, and we're not, going to let anyone risk harming themselves at a sort of unauthorized and boat launch that was never really meant to be a place to launch boats. And I will say parenthetically, Isham Street is technically not a public access area also. Yeah. But there will be now, Chad's gone, a state-of-the-art public access park that is designed for people to launch paddlecraft at the park, which will be excellent for the community and really the type of place you're supposed to go. That will have parking at, either at the park, I know it's somewhat limited there, or across the street in the seaport. So.
I have a quick question. I wasn't sure if I understood Candy's memo. And I spoke to her, and she still has a question on whether the applicant plans to have car-top boat access in the future. I think she's going back to the DEP letter of 7/16/2012. And I guess we need a clear-cut answer as to whether he plans to do that or not.
Well, I'll let Harry answer.
So just for the record, Harry Bortson, Managing Partner, Seaport Marine. Sorry, allergies have got a pretty tight grip on me today, so if my singing voice is a little out of tune tonight, I apologize. This idea about this car top launch, again, as John said, there's been a large misunderstanding when it was first covered here, when we brought our marine facility through, which is more commonly known as Red 36. This plan before you today, it incorporates, over 1,000 feet of new boardwalk. It's over 100 parking spaces. We're utilizing private property to widen streets, to add sidewalks. We feel that it's just a more appropriate use of the property and where we are. And to Candy's point, those comments were made in 2012, and we're here in 2026, and we have, as John said, a new state-of-the-art rowing center that seems to fit this, this paddlecraft desire much more better than we can. And I think some of the confusion was born from a tenant that we had who rented paddlecraft and kayaks and paddle boards, but it was something that was monitored. There were items in place to mitigate any sort of potential injury. Most importantly, there was insurance coverage provided by a second party. So we're leaning more towards this public access component, which is more pedestrian than paddlecraft. Now, in the future, we consider an awful lot of things, but at this time, this is what we'd like to present for approval.
So I think that does address it, because it says public access in the form of a walkway or car top. So it doesn't say both. But I'm going back again to 2012. That's when the special permit was approved for the restaurant. And condition 7 was, I'm not sure what they meant by this, but Condition 7 said, public water access and signage shall be placed at the northern pier at the end of Cottrell Street, and parking for 3 vehicles shall be provided on site. So are we still complying with that?
Not only are we compliant with that, we're augmenting that. So that pier that's currently labeled today, it's small, it's dilapidated. We actually just cut about 30 feet of it off because it's in disrepair. And all that will be new, formalized, state-of-the-art ADA compliant access area. And that's the,
That will fill public water access.
because it, go ahead.
You can do it. Well, under the Coastal Management Act, pedestrian public access is considered a water-dependent use.
Okay.
It's just defined as a water-dependent use. It doesn't have to be access to the actual, like in the water. You don't have to let people go swimming, you don't have to let people go boating, just providing a pathway along the shore.
I'm familiar with that
Yeah.
definition. This doesn't say that. It refers to public water access.
Yeah. Well, Candy
Do you think that's in the context of DEEP's regulatory authority and water regulated use?
that they can suggest public access to they can suggest whatever they want. But I think back in 2025, or just less than a year ago, there was this issue of public access came up, and in a zoning complaint, Candy goes through the history, and she actually says, stipulation 7 of the SUP states, quote, public water access and signage shall be placed at the northern pier at the end of Cottrell Street, and parking for 3 vehicles shall be provided on the site, close quote. Then she wrote the word, quote, walkway was erroneously dropped from the description. And then she said, a review of the minutes revealed the comment.
I have that.
Yeah. So I think that's the.
Why I'm asking the question.
Yeah, I think there was just some bad, bookkeeping.
Record keeping.
Yeah, at the time, and, and then people saw the business, running, renting out there, but as Harry said, that was done under very controlled circumstances. And so it was never a just wide open public boat launch.
I think what really clarifies it is in the letter from DEEP, and I know it's dated, but it still applies because it was for the special permit, and that condition that you're reading from is for the special permit, which is still in effect today.
Correct.
So it says adding a public access element to the site, such as a public access walkway. And that is what you're adding, correct?
Well, and that's what they added in 2012, but it was just that northern pier, you could just walk.
I realize it's not there, but that is what you're adding in this application.
Correct.
A
Right.
public access walkway.
Right.
Okay. It should be, I think it should be labeled that way on the plans.
Yep.
Then this letter goes on for a car top boat launch. And both being methods to mitigate the effects of diminishing the existing water dependent use with the installation of a restaurant. So I guess I'm asking the question, and I'm sort of answering it at the same time with the research that I did myself today. And I think it's really answered in that letter of, by DEEP on July 16, 2012.
We concur. And as Harry said, we think it's being significantly augmented, because you're not just going out the end of the pier, turning around and coming back, and then walking on Cottrell Street.
So no car top boat launch. I never heard that term before. Car top boat launch. Sounds like something out of the 50s.
What you can put on your car.
Which is probably where the statue's at. Okay. Any other questions from the board?
No problem.
Any comments from the staff?
On my report, I have a note regarding bicycle parking. However, the regulations do not allow the commission to request bicycle parking That will be entirely up to the applicant if they wish to provide it. There's a,
Can you turn your mic on?
oh, sorry. So the regulations don't allow, well, don't require the applicant to provide bicycle parking. There's a policy for, a zoning policy for complete streets to provide what's the word?
Multimodal transport.
Multimodal transport, yes, correct. So if the applicant wishes to provide bicycle parking, that will be acceptable.
Is that your recommending? Are you recommending that they provide that?
Yeah, because you're saying we can't require them to.
Yeah, the town and the commission cannot require them. It'll be up to the applicant to provide it, if they so wish to.
What's the applicant's opinion on bicycle parking?
So,
Assuming that, and let me maybe make a little clearer, pardon me. Does that mean providing bike racks for people to park their bike?
Correct.
Okay.
well, I'll make it easy for you. We've had some meetings with some folks from Bike Stonington, and we're fine with that. We'd be happy to include some bike racks. We had it in the back of our heads to do something up on the bottom of Cottrell Street, somewhere in the top of the property. We just didn't call it out on the plans, but we're completely amenable.
So that would be added to the plan?
Sure.
Okay.
We'll clarify the public walk, and we can add some bicycle parking capacity.
Any other comments, Manuel?
No more comments.
No other comments. At this point, is the commission comfortable moving to public input?
Oh, yeah.
We'll get our sheets, sir. The way this works is the public gets an opportunity to speak either for, against, or make a general comment on the project. The applicant gets a chance to rebut if they choose, and it goes back and forth until everybody has said their piece.
Not a sign-up sheet, I guess. It's not up there, so I guess we can proceed.
Okay, in the absence of a sign-up sheet, if you just step forward and state your name, evening, Ben. You're gonna need it.
We have to give up the table.
But we gotta have it for the record.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
nobody will be able to hear the recording.
I get sound pretty good without the mic, but I think it's best to.
Yeah, just for clarity's sake, yeah.
Evening, sir.
Good evening. I was hoping not to have to speak tonight, but I just, for the record, I really have to take serious issue with both the zoning enforcement officer and the applicant's assertions about the kayak launch. As someone that was on the commission in 2012 for both the July and August hearings where Red 36 was approved, there were hours of testimony and much discussion, and I've gone back and listened to the tape, and there was much discussion of allowing access for kayaks and launching of car-top vessels, and that was the reason for adding the parking and getting the applicant to add the parking, which is a little bit remote, but it's around the corner on Willow Street. It's still there.
One second. When you say kayaks, is that car-top kayak?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
As opposed to a boat that you're bringing on a trailer.
Right,
Obviously, they're not providing a launch ramp.
I hate the term, but I understand.
Yeah, I mean, you can launch a kayak off a dock, you can launch a kayak off a lawn.
Question we have.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, it was captured in the recordings of the hearings quite accurately, that there was discussion, there were questions from the commission, and there were responses from the applicant asserting that there would be kayak launch. And the minutes actually picked it up on page 2 of 6 of the regular meeting minutes for August 21st, 2012, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th paragraph. Mr. Sweeney, who was the applicant's attorney at the time, Mr. Sweeney stated that the applicant met on site with DEEP's office of Long Island Sound regarding their concerns and believes there is no reduction in water-dependent use. He noted that there is already public water access area to this property at the public small boat launch area to the northeast of the property at the end of Cottrell Street. And I'll end my comments there. So,
Isn't that the question we just asked, though?
that was
Is
the
there-
question you asked, and Mr. Sweeney answered it in 2012, differently than it's being answered.
Oh, okay, small boat versus car top.
Yeah,
Okay.
small boat launch area.
Mhm.
So that was the public access that they were offering and being required. So if there was any language that was mistaken in the item 7 on the special use permit, it wouldn't be that the pedestrian was left out, it would be that the small boat launch was left out.
Yeah, yeah. I did review everything today, and you're correct. That is the language. That is the language that comes out of the meeting in the sense that the commission had when they approved that.
Well,
So-
I wish it would be respected tonight. Now, that could be changed if it is felt, if the commission feels that the addition of new pedestrian access, extended pedestrian access outweighs the need for the kayak launch. I don't think that having a kayak launch at Isham Street has anything to do with this application or this property. And doesn't mitigate the need for access at that site. And I just want it to be understood that always was the intent. If it was not precisely stated in item 7 on the SUP, that's unfortunate, but if you search the complete record, including the minutes and the recordings, it's all there, and it is a kayak
I'm
launch.
corroborating what you're saying. I read the same thing today.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak either for or against, or make a general comment on this application? Just state your name if you would, sir, or ma'am, sorry. Good evening.
Hi, I'm Mary Hendrickson. Oh, so did I press a button?
Is it green?
No.
Oh, yeah, press it.
Okay. I'm Mary Hendrickson. I live at 20 Rossi Street. I kind of have 6 points here that I'd like to mention. First, I'm not an advocate for a step-by-step process. I'd rather like to see the whole concept. I don't understand why you would do it in a step-by-step. And I know the lawyer explained it, but it still doesn't go well with me. He mentions 180 parking places. We need parking by the highway, not downtown. Route 27 just can't handle it. It's a big mess now, and it's going to get worse. Willow Street as a two-way street, I caution with a widening of a street. It will lose its historic character. It's part of the Mystic Bridge National Register District. Everyone is forgetting about this. Everybody's forgetting about the character of the place. I appreciate that they're interested in solar panel lighting. That's a good thing. My question, do we have a town planner?
Not yet, no.
Well, I think we need a town planner because this is big and everything's getting bigger and bigger. And making these kind of decisions without a town planner seems not a good idea at all.
We don't disagree with you. We had Manuel, who's standing in for the town planner, doing an outstanding job, I think, to fill that vacancy temporarily. So I shouldn't have said you don't have a town planner.
Okay, but it's,
You're not filling the position. But
right. I'm just saying
we
it's
can only move as fast as we can move, and it's a very competitive market right now, so we're doing our best.
Right. It's a really complicated situation with the street situation that we have. This is the one that really comes to heart with me. Talking about the small boats and, they can go up to the boathouse park. There's like 6 parking places that are going to be available, and then everybody's supposed to cross the street, and it's about the most dangerous situation that's happening. This is another reason why we need the town planner. How is this intersection going to take all that you want And how are 180 more parking places going to work with this? It just, in one of my comments at a Board of Police Commissioner meetings, I said it's a big mess. And I guess I continue to say that. It's a big mess. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Anyone else wish to speak on this project, either for or against, or make a general comment? Just state your name if you would, sir, and your address. Thank you.
Hi, Paul Sarter, 12 Jackson Avenue in Mystic. I'm actually speaking in favor of this plan, the way it's developed. It would be, I don't know. I like to hope that there's not going to be any more extensive work done here. Some of you may have recalled when Seaport Marine proposed their original plan. I would say I probably was the primary catalyst to push it away, to defeat it. They withdrew it. It wasn't rejected. They finally withdrew it, and the neighborhood was concerned about, as well as actually the whole town. I mean, it started with a dozen or so people in the neighborhood, and then it spread throughout, support from Mystic throughout, whether it be Groton as well as Stonington. And I sat down, Harry's attorney, and Harry asked to talk to me, and we sat down about a year ago, and he asked me what I think the property should be used for, and I said, it's a marina, boats, do something like that. And he basically showed me this plan. I gotta admit, I believe in trust but verify. He's showing us what he showed me a year ago. I think character of Mystic is important. I've been here for over 40 years now. Lived in my house for over 40 years. My wife's been here for well over 50 years. We've seen the character of Mystic change drastically. I would go back 25 years today and put my house in 1/3 the value, gladly if I could, but I can't. What he's doing is basically, I see, improving for us, the neighborhood. I've got pedestrians galore. Sometimes Washington Street now is busier than Main Street as far as pedestrians go. I just like what he's planned. He's creating more deep water docking, extensive space for very large boats, which I assume is going to be very expensive for them for a 100-foot or a 50-foot or an 80-foot boat to sit there overnight or for a week that he watches them go by to the seaport. If in the future something comes and they want to put another restaurant that's twice the size of Red 36, to put a hotel, to put a 30 apartment building, 30 unit apartment building, well, I'll be there to fight it with my neighbors. I know it's a tough call to get through DEP because it's a floodplain. We know that. But as someone who's been there for 40 years, who's seen it all, and has lived there for 40 years, seen my neighbors come and go, there's only a few of us that are still there. No one has been there as long as we have. I gotta say, if I was to put something on paper and hope that something would be done with this property, that's what he's doing. I can't read his mind. I'm trying to take him for his word. And that's all we can do. This is what we have. But the way this is drawn up, I honestly, I'd love to see what the fixtures are going to look like, the light fixtures. I hope there aren't too many big trees because it's beautiful having a view right across that property onto the water. But as long as there's no more buildings, this is it. These cars are coming. This isn't creating more parking for more people. The people are already here. I have parking around my street. In the summertime, it's 7 days a week. I can count 10 different states, car plates on Jackson Avenue, both sides. This isn't going to bring more people downtown. They're already here. But what it does do is makes improvements, and frankly, his improvements is pretty generous to go through, and we can be skeptical, David, I appreciate it, as to whether or not there's some ulterior motive. But taking our utility poles and not having to look at those ugly poles, we have to look at the train wires that, you know, Amtrak said, oh, it's not going to be a problem, you're not going to see them. But the improvements he's making are actually, it's 180 degrees times 100 different from what was proposed before. And as I said, if it goes more than this, we'll be fighting it like mad dogs. But the way this plan is right now, it's his property. He should be able to put things on it that planning and zoning allows. If there's a consideration, and if it's a legal consideration about whether there's a launch there or not, I come from, again, the perspective that it's his property. He should be able to do what he wants with it within planning and zoning regulations. And you guys can fight that out. But this basic plan, I gotta say, I like, and I won't speak for my neighbors per se, but I've spoken to a lot of them. And I think there's a good positive feedback from the people who live. I'm basically, 30 feet from his property. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Anyone else? State your name if you would, sir, and your address.
My name is Spiros Barris. I live at 15 Washington Street, 2 houses down from Paul. I've only lived there 22 years. I've lived in Mystic 40 years. And I'm speaking in favor for the project. I agree with everything Paul said, especially the new sidewalks and elevated walkway. With the amount of pedestrians coming down the street and people from Apple Rehab in wheelchairs, the sidewalks are going to be a great addition. The underground utilities also. The additional parking, you know, we do need that. Yeah, and I've also spoken to a lot of the neighbors, and again, not speaking for them, but everybody seems to be in agreement and in favor of this. So, thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else wish to speak?
Bruce Lax, I'm 632 Knowing Road. I'm president of the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce. Just want to speak in favor of this project. From the standpoint of Seaport Marine and Harry and Abby, they're great character people. They are support the community. They help us find that balance between what's too much and too little. And you know, just in terms of the plans that they stated and the fact that they're doing all these improvements, including the lighting and the parking, I feel it's only good for downtown and will help, I think some people disagree, but maintain a little peace in terms of allowing more spaces and having some safety on Washington Street and Willow. My daughter lives at the end of Jackson, and you know, it's dark down there, and it's not particularly safest at night, so to have lighting there would be great. I don't think it takes away from the character and like the like town, like the small town feel. It's done in a respectful way, and to the point of where they're saying there's some people concerned about what would come next. I would agree with Paul that, you know, they're asking what they're asking for. It looks good. It will help, and if they wanted to do something else, that would be addressed at that time. But for that, I just wanted to say that we support. So thanks.
Thank you for your comments, sir. Anyone else wish to speak? Good evening.
Good evening. Maggie Favretti, I'm a resident of Stonington, also a member of the Alliance for the Mystic River Watershed. And I just have some questions in all innocence. I haven't been researching this plan a lot. I'm relieved, actually, to see that there has been a fair amount of attention paid to the fact that this area floods. And am just wondering if this is also an opportunity to pay even more attention to the fact that this area floods and is going to flood more and more over the next years. So I think that's no longer an open question. I think it's pretty well determined that this area is likely to experience by 2050, starting in 2018 to 2050, 20 inches of sea level rise. And I don't know about the impact on whether these rain gardens will be able to absorb that much water, whether the storm drains might be a really good opportunity for tree filtration to make sure that the runoff from the newly paved Willow Street is going to be filtered before it goes directly into the Mystic River. I'd like to see more attention paid to that. And I also have a question about underground wiring that sits in water. I'm sure there's a way that they do it, but I'm just worried about that too, because this is also an area that is very likely to be flooded regularly, and the water table is rising there already. So all of this underground cabling is likely to be in salt water. I just don't know how you do those things, but it could be a great opportunity.
Thanks for your time, and thank you for the great work of the Alliance too in the River Basin. Be commended for that. Anyone else? Hearing none, does the applicant wish rebuttal time?
Mr. Chairman, you should know never to ask a lawyer a question. For the most part, the comments are ones we anticipated. Paul, Mr. Sartor, mentioned the meeting we had with him at least a year ago, and that's what Harry and Abby have been working towards after the original application in 2019. And so, as we said, this is the plan that is on the table now. What the future may bring is unknown at this point. Harry said this is what we need to get the site, profitable, get it working again. So this is where we are. I don't want to sort of go too much on the kayak launch, but we're talking about something from 14 years ago, and as a land use lawyer, I would just say I look at the final decision that a commission issues, and there's a big difference between a public access pedestrian walkway and requiring a boat launch, a launch of some sort. And in that condition, it says nothing about a launch. It says public water access and signage will be placed at the northern pier at the end of Cottrell Street, and parking for 3 vehicles shall be provided on site. So if you've ever looked at that pier, you cannot launch a rooftop vessel from it. It's a pier. It's elevated 6, 7, depending on the tide, multiple feet above the water. It's not safe for launching. The area where people were launching was never part of the public access. So, and to Mr. Tamsky's point, he said if you want to, in a way, sort of switch it out, because one way to read all the backstory is that maybe a kayak launch was supposed to be part of the approval. You want to switch that out for extended public access pedestrian walkway. I mean, if that's what this commission wants to sort of do in your mind, but I don't think you need to, because I don't think there ever was a public access kayak launching area, and what there was, as we said, will be improved upon. I think we touched on most of these, Ms. Hendrickson's comments. You know, we understand if we had a whole concept, we would show it, but we don't have a whole concept. I think she misspoke or misheard. There's 108 parking spaces. And, you know, these are the parking spaces here. We know Mystic in general has a parking problem, a traffic problem. You know, that's not on the shoulders of any one property owner, especially one who's at the end of the line, so to speak. And we think widening Willow Street, you know, will not change its historic character. We're not.
Two-way street now.
Yeah, right. It is a two-way street. It's just a very narrow two-way street where people have to stop and pull over and to get around each other. So we think the safety is amenable with the historic character. We don't think, you know, the road surface is particularly a historic feature of the road, nor the width. I think Steve can talk to, maybe just while we're at it, the stormwater drainage in the road, if you want to just touch on that.
Sure. Yeah, so the stormwater drainage, that's in Willow Street now. Currently, so Willow Street is currently paved, and then at the kind of the end of the straightaway of Willow Street, it's basically, I guess it's the end of the town road there. So it's paved, I think, up to that point. So the water that hits Willow Street flows. It doesn't actually get to the river. It actually flows to the east, to the other side of the street. To the tidal wetland that's on the east side of the property, or not property, but of the area. So we're not changing anything there. I think we're actually slightly reducing the amount of area that is flowing to Willow Street. So again, like I said, we're actually overall we're decreasing the amount of water that's leaving the property now. So yeah, we're not. There's currently structures in Willow Street or off the shoulder of Willow Street, like kind of a swale on the side, and there's a couple of catch basins there, so we're not changing that. So again, we would just be basically resurfacing, and then again widening that, and then adding the sidewalks along Willow Street as well.
And there was, in the town engineer had some questions about that, and that there was back and forth, so that's in your packet as well, about how the water would flow into those catch basins. Mm-hmm. And I think there were some changes to the plans made. So all the stormwater management on Willow Street has been addressed to the satisfaction of the town engineer. I don't really have, is there anything else?
The only other thing,
Go ahead.
Sorry, there was one comment, I believe Mr. Sauter also mentioned, was about the lighting on site. So we did include the style of the fixture head as well in the plans. So they're in the detail sheet. So if anybody did want to see what those fixtures will look like and the heights and things like that, that's included in the plan. But we did try to match the existing fixtures that are out on Main Street. So it's kind of a bell-shaped fixture on the end. So it's not like an industrial-looking type of fixture at all. So the post, again, with kind of a curved arm to like a bell-shaped fixture. And it's in the plans, if anyone is curious.
What about the potential question of erosion of underground utilities?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
With regard to
Sure, yeah. So
are power lines ever cathodically protected, or are they naturally cathodically protected because there's positive and negative current going through them like an anode in the cabinet?
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't answer that question with 100% certainty, so I don't want to opine on it. But there are requirements. Oh yeah, I was trying to find the fixtures.
I think you went back up. You went past them. It's just
might be on the actual lighting plan.
Is it not loading?
Like it. Might be I don't know if it's on detail sheets or maybe on the actual lighting plan.
Ryan said the page before the landscape plan.
I've never heard of it being done, cathodic protection.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, I'm not exactly sure. But again, you can bury.
High-pressure gas mains, stainless steel gas mains.
Right.
That are, you know, susceptible to corrosion, particularly in corrosive soils.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Probably what we have here, but this is insulated wire.
Yes. Yeah. In probably a PVC conduit that would be watertight, right? So
In a curb
FEMA.
box.
Sorry.
In a curb box.
Yeah, in a curb box. But yeah, there are, you know, methods of construction, right, for building in floodplains. You know, they don't want, in building homes or structures, right, FEMA doesn't want, you know, utility equipment below a certain level, right, below the flood elevations, things like that. Anything that is installed, it has to be flood-proofed. So there are methods to flood-proof, you know, utility conduits, things like that.
I'm not necessarily talking about flood-proofing, I'm talking about corrosion, you know, prevention and corrosion control. And I think maybe if we just added some language that, you know, the utility companies be consulted to see if cathodic protection would be advisable. I think they're going to say absolutely not, that they don't want any stray voltage in the soil anywhere near high voltage lines. But it is a good question, and I think it deserves that additional consideration. So the utility companies would know, and if they recommend it, it's not expensive. You know, here's me spending your money, but it's not an expensive add to the project. It isn't the full length. It's selective cathodes and anodes in the ground that are just really buried sacks along the buried power line route. But I've never heard of it being done. Because the question's been raised, I'd like to ask it of the utility company. Anyone else have any additional questions?
Yes, we found the sheet with the lighting pictures.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
It was very long. I couldn't get through it all.
Does anyone who spoke either for or against wish any rebuttal time? Okay. If there are no further comments, is the commission comfortable closing the public hearing? Are you, Counselor, have you concluded your presentation?
Yes, we've concluded. We'd ask the members if you have any questions about any of the materials you received. You know, we'd love the opportunity to answer those questions rather than have the hearing close and then, you know, you start discussing.
We have to act this evening. This is
right.
We're out of time here.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying in the next 2 minutes.
Thank you. So if there's no further comment from the commission, no further comment from the applicant? Yes, sir.
Just in closing, I think I just want to put it on the record. I want to thank Mr. Sarter. I would say that he was definitely the quarterback of the opposition some time ago. So, but after breaking bread last year, I kind of realized we had a little bit more in common about this neck of the woods that we wanted to work together on. So, I think we've got some important plans here as far as safety and pedestrian thoroughfares and kind of getting Washington straightened out. So. I appreciate, wanted to publicly thank him and the neighborhood that for working with us on these details. So we're excited about closing this tonight because we're only halfway there with this application. We really need to go to deep afterwards. And there's also some time constraints with Department of Public Works that we've opened up a very nice conversation with. So while Washington Street is being repaired, there's some infrastructure things that we would love to do to really make that street flow very nicely. So we appreciate the consideration tonight. So thank you.
Thank you for the more elaborate presentation tonight. And I think it was worthwhile, getting the public in to take a closer look at this and have an opportunity to comment. There's a lot of interest on all sides on this project, I think, as we saw tonight. So if there's no further comment, is the commission comfortable closing the hearing?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to close the public hearing for PZ 2608 Spa and Cam Seaport Marine Incorporated H. Portson.
Motion to close the public hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dave, thank you both. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing is closed. What's the commission's pleasure on this matter? We have to act tonight.
Correct. So, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to make a motion, let me just double check first. So I'm okay to make a motion to approve the site plan application and CAM together?
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve both the site plan application and coastal area management application with the following, I'll just go through, following stipulations. Number one, the applicant shall address the outstanding comments to the satisfaction of the town engineer and town planner. Number two, final plan shall note the public access is limited to pedestrian access on the boardwalk. Number three, final plan shall be reviewed to the satisfaction of the town engineer and town planner. Number four, final plan shall be signed by the commission and recorded in the town's land evidence records. Number five, the applicant shall post an erosion and sedimentation control bond prior to the issuance of a zoning permit. The bond shall be either in the form of a certified check or a revocable letter of credit meeting requirements of ZR 15.4.3. The bond amount shall be established by the town engineer after an estimate of the cost of installing and maintaining the appropriate erosion and sedimentation control measures is provided by the applicant and approved by the town engineer. Work shall remain bonded for a minimum of 1 year from the date of zoning compliance. Number six, that the applicant shall install bike racks as appropriate. Number seven, that the applicant will consult with the appropriate utility companies about the cathodic protection and find out if it is advisable or required by them or not. Number seven, I do want to call out that I do believe that the need for the public access pedestrian walkway does outweigh the need for a small boat and or public car top boat launch. So I believe they have met that condition to make that change. And let's see, is that it on that? That is it.
So motion to move with, was it with 7 conditions?
7. Yes.
7 conditions by Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Dave. Thank you both. Any discussion? Ladies? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Chair abstains. Motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you. Good luck. Okay, next item for public hearing. Ryan, would you please read the notice?
Public hearing for PZ 2610 SUP Titlewood School, J. Foster and A. Simmons. Special use permit application for K through 8 secondary micro school use with an existing place of worship. Properties are located at 897 and 903 Pequot Trail, Stonington. M/B/L 107-1-1. Property is located in the GB 130 zone. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to open the public hearing for PZ 2610 SUP Titlewood School.
Motion open is noted. Is there a second?
Second. Thanks.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing is open. You please identify yourself and proceed. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Andrea Simmons.
Good evening, Jason Foster, both residents of Stonington.
So we are here representing Titlewood School. We are the co-founders, and we are seeking special use permit for, we want to be really clear because it's a little bit different than the actual application. We are withdrawing our request to use the 903 building. We're only requesting the 897 building, 897 Pequot Trail, for a micro school, which is a unique kindergarten through 8th grade program, enrolling up to 15 students. We have plans to be very complimentary to the community and utilize all of the wonderful organizations in our town, including New England Science and Sailing, Yellow Farmhouse Education Center, and provide experiential learning for students who would do really well with that hands-on component. Half-day academic, half-day experiential learning at partner sites or having partner sites come to us. So it's a very small scale, unique project. We have the word school in our name, but really we are something completely out of the ordinary that we don't have in our area at all. So we are happy to answer any questions, explore the application as needed. We also want to be sure that it's noted that the abutters Letters were mailed out on April 10th, and I have that information to be able to give to you guys tonight.
Could you explain the site plan to us a little bit?
So looking at 897, correct?
Well, you know, there's sort of recreational area for the students, or how is it situated? Is it 100% school use, or is it part of place of worship, part of schoolyard? If you can explain the joint use, if there is joint use.
Yeah, so the area that the school actually operated is specifically for the school, but obviously the church has access to it. And if you're speaking of the recreation area, you're speaking about the grassy area that is behind the parking on site. It would be accessible for the students for, you know, outdoor use and some kind of exercise time, free play, monitored free play. But yes, we would plan to utilize that as part of the instructional area as well.
Is the state license or anything required for use like that?
So as a private independent school, there is no licensing requirement. The one thing that we need to do is report student attendance to the state, and down the line move towards accreditation if we wish, but really the only requirement is the attendance.
Even the changes in this legislature didn't impose any requirements?
No,
This type of
correct.
learning?
Correct.
Thank you.
Just a little background on that, though. We're 2 licensed public educators for over 40 years combined. So, you know, that particular thing, licensing from the
Are
instruction.
the instructors licensed?
Yes. The 2 of us are the
Yes.
instructors.
Is that it? If there's 2 instructors for 10 students?
Correct.
Is that the right ratio?
The ratio, there's really, not to my knowledge, any requirement. Those requirements live more within the public school system, and then accredited preschool programs that are private. With being a kindergarten through 8th grade program, because we enroll our youngest students are kindergartners, there would be no requirements along those lines. But as Jason mentioned, we are both public school certified and licensed, both teachers and administrators across Connecticut, and I also have Massachusetts.
I'm just thinking the public school wouldn't combine a classroom with students K to 8. That's why I was asking the question. You know, do you have to have a licensed teacher for each grade level?
Yes, we're licensed for those grade levels.
For
It's,
all of them.
yes, it's not a requirement, but we believe deeply that it's important for our students to have experts in front of them for their grade levels. We're also planning to semi-divide the students into the younger grades and the older grades, and so it's not like kindergartners will be learning alongside 8th graders, but the kindergarten through 3rd grade and then 4th through 8th, like a middle to upper grades program.
Is this a hybrid approach, or has it been done in other places?
Yeah, so we would like to offer, and we are offering, a variety of ways for students to learn. So we want to be cognizant that there are homeschoolers in our area who are looking for some sort of level of participation beyond what they have with sort of like one-off programs here and there. And so we are offering a few days a week, we're offering full-time, we're offering hybrid online learning for students who may travel for sports. We have a number of students in this area, and including Rhode Island, who travel nationwide for sports and need to then do virtual learning in the public school, and so we would like to be able to meet their needs as well. So we're really offering a menu of options for families to choose from, and I think that's part of what makes us really unique as well.
Any other questions from the commission?
Can I just go back to the beginning, because I was trying to go through my plans? So you're just at 903, which is not the church building, it's the building on the side.
We're just at 897, so,
Oh, 897,
yeah,
that is the
897,
church,
which is the
okay.
fellowship hall.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. I know a lot of space there.
I'd just like to add, while you're considering that, is that one of the things that we wanted to do was make sure that the students were stewards of the area. The core of why we came up with the idea is that the students would experience exactly what we have in Stonington. Our own kids have gone through school, still in the school system now, and they've had only opportunities as a one-off for just an individual year to experiences like NEST that we're going to offer. We actually have a package with NEST, squared away right now for the summer for incoming students. that would be offered, and they get to do this on a daily basis, right? These are unique 6 to 8 week units. These can be things that can turn into week long, and then we follow up with instruction. And that's a much deeper experience than even our own children have experienced, you know, with one time in 3rd grade or one time in 8th grade, and they're looking and seeking to go on their own when you wind up doing this privately, whereas students can experience something like this on a daily basis.
Any other questions from the commission? Anything from staff?
No questions from staff.
Any report from staff?
The report is included in your packets.
Yeah. Okay. Does that conclude your presentation, sir?
Yes, unless there's anything else in the packet or about the school.
Do we have any sign-up sheet? There's no sign-up sheet, okay. Is the commission comfortable going to public input on this?
Yes.
Okay. The way this works is the applicants completed their presentation. It's time for public input. You can speak either for, against, or just make a general comment. The applicant will have opportunity to rebut if they so choose, and you will have an opportunity to rebut as well. So is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this presentation?
Yes, good evening. I'm Reverend Mark Parisky, 100 Shoeville Road I live at, but I am the pastor of the Road Church, and it was through me that they got this. And I just want to say how excited I am that I have worked for a number of churches. I'm now the chaplain for Westerly and Lawrence Memorial Hospital primarily, but most church buildings are completely underutilized today in sort of a declining role. And the idea that we're actually bringing children in and providing a unique learning opportunity with some, they didn't mention it, but both of them have been principals in the school system in this area, and are just magnificent at what they do, and they want to provide a literally wonderful experience. As someone who just sat in a chair here for over an hour for my first Planning and Zoning Commission, good Lord, I don't know how you do it. I find this to be a wonderful opportunity for learning that isn't just based in simply being in school, but hands-on, interactive learning, and the opportunities that are being provided that we're thrilled to be a part of, and our church has voted unanimously to be a part of this, and I just wanted to let you know that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Does the applicant wish any rebuttal time? Didn't think so.
I just wanted to offer thank you and just publicly say thank you to the Road Church. But it actually, along the process, has become really, it's even changed the way we view it. We're just so happy to work with the people in the church community there. We find it to be an enhancement, and that our programming would align specifically with church mission. It's not technically a religious-based school, but we do believe that giving back to your community and being a steward of your community and experiencing what your community has to offer is in the core of our mission.
I appreciate those passionate, thoughtful comments. Thank you for coming tonight.
Okay.
What? Sorry about that. AI at work. Anyone have any further comment on the commission? No further staff comment? Presentation is concluded. I think the appropriate motion to close the public hearing is in order.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to close the public hearing for PZ 261 SUP Titlewood School.
Motion by Ryan to close the application of the private school. Second. Seconded by Dave. Thank you both. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Chair abstains. The public hearing is closed. What's the commission's pleasure on the application of Titlewood School?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the special use permit application for Titlewood School for only 897 Pequot Trail, Stonington. Is that correct? With the following three stipulations. Number one, the applicant shall address outstanding comments to the satisfaction of the building official, fire marshal, and town planner. Number two, final plan shall be reviewed to the satisfaction of the town planner. And number 3, the final plan shall be signed by the commission and recorded in the town's land evidence records.
Motion to approve the 3 conditions by Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dave. Thank you both. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Chair abstains. The application is approved. Thank you.
Good luck.
Move on to old business. First item under old business, Grace Mountain Church is deferred until June 16th. Brings us to item B, PC 26115D, D. Carly, Seal Engineers, Inc., subdivision application for the subdivision of a 2.01 acre parcel property located at 181 Whitehall Avenue, map block lot number 166-4-1. Property is located in the RA 40 zone.
Good evening.
Evening.
Bob DeLuca, for the record, with professional engineer with CLA Engineers. I do have this on, just if that's helpful. With me is Dave Coleri, the applicant. Property is a 2-acre parcel on Whitehall Avenue, which is Route 27. It's a 1-lot subdivision.
Subdivision or re-subdivision?
Sorry, a re-subdivision, which makes this a public hearing. Or, yes, well, this had to be, that's why we noticed it, correct? Yes. So if you can flip to the next sheet, you don't need to see it here, right? You can see it. All right. So the parcel is 2 acres. There's an existing house on it. To the north, it's in a R40 zone, 40,000 square foot per lot. The southern portion of the lot has wetlands on it, which you can see. There's also a thick dashed line, which represents a 100-foot floodplain line. And the parcel is exactly about just over 2 acres. So we're creating one, if you can flip to the next street, Manuel. Parcel will be cut in half, creating 1 lot that will contain the majority of the wetlands, which leaves the front portion of the lot to allow the house construction. If you can flip to the next sheet, Manuel, this is a proposed, moderately sized house, 2,000 square feet with a garage. This just shows that the hustle, as part of your subdivision regs, that a house can be built on this lot. Utilities are from the street, proposed sewer and water, and the driveway to Route 27, which is a state road. So as part of the approval process, we submitted these plans to Route 27. If you can flip to the couple sheets down, this is a sightline demonstration that's required as part of a DOT approval. And we recently received a letter from DOT on the 14th that had 2 conditions of approval. One was related to confirming that the utilities crossing the street will be owned by the utility company, not by the property owner. And one was that we show that we have approval from your body. We recently received wetland approval a couple weeks ago. So at this point, we did address several comments from the town engineer. The only remaining comment was related to this proposed driveway, which we have since received DOT approval. We would ask, since we went back and forth with the driveway aspect of this approval with the town engineer, we'd ask that, since we feel this is purely jurisdictional, the driveway jurisdiction is DOT and not the town, that any condition of approval be related to the driveway be tied to DOT approval and not town approval.
What
Correct. We were in the upland review area, and specifically if that house, if that conceptual house moved any closer to the wetland, that we would need to come back to them.
Is there a number of feet?
I think we show on the plan it's 60-something feet away right now, so if that's a conceptual house, it's a box. You know, it's unlikely that house will be built. This is to satisfy subdivision regs in order to cut this lot out. So if the house gets any closer, then it will need to go back to wetlands.
What's the reason for wanting the driveway permit to be solely in the jurisdiction of DOT?
We're afraid that when the applicant goes to pull a building permit, he may have DOT approval. And if you condition it that we have to satisfy the town engineer, he ends up in this circular pattern of not being able to get his approval. I'll give you an example.
I'm not so sure I want to agree to that. I think if the town engineer has agreed to certain impervious area, you know, and a certain alignment that, you know, that's still within his jurisdiction, you know, so, I don't think you can expect, you know, any unreasonable conditions after they've already said yes. So I'm not inclined to say that, you know, I want DOT commenting on a driveway design that is out of their jurisdiction.
Well, the encroachment to their road, it is their road.
It's their road, and within their right-of-way, you have to secure an encroachment permit, right? So to that extent, they have jurisdiction on the curb cut, the driveway throat, and any potential, you know, ramps that might exist within the road, or curbs that have to be removed and replaced, drainage, whatnot. But their jurisdiction ends at the right-of-way line. They don't, you know, they don't have jurisdiction, you know, beyond that.
Can I give you a similar example? For example, if Ledgelight approved the septic system and the town engineer commented on that they felt it should have a larger septic tank, do you see how that type of comment would...
I don't, because in that case, the town engineer has no jurisdiction on subdivision, or on septic systems. The town engineer does have jurisdiction on LID, you know, low impact design.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the driveway on the property itself. I'm talking about he's commenting on the location of the driveway where it enters the state road. And
As it pertains to the construction of the driveway within the state right of way, I think we agree. It's within the state's jurisdiction.
That's all I'm asking.
And that's fine.
That's fine. However, whatever happens to the...
But I think that's a matter of law. I think that's a matter of law and a matter of administrative I wouldn't want to restate it.
Okay.
So, I think you're on solid ground.
Specifically, trying to address the location of what enters the state road, which that's what we have issue with. And
Gotcha.
We're afraid to get into a circular pattern with them on this, once we pull the permit.
Gotcha.
And I apologize, I spoke for you, David, but did you want to add something?
Yeah. Hi, David Caleri, 187 Whitehall for the record. I prepared a quick statement, if that's okay. Just reiterate some points, but...
If it isn't a two-page statement...
No, it's one page, I promise. Trust me, I'd like to go home as well.
Pretty submitted in writing.
Would you prefer?
No, go ahead. Please, go ahead.
All right. Mr. Chairman and members of the commission, thank you for your time. Again, my name is Dave Caleri. I'm the applicant for the 187 Whitehall re-subdivision application. I want to address the driveway issue directly. I respect the town engineer's safety concern, and I'm not asking the commission to ignore safety. But this driveway connects directly to Route 27, which is a state highway. So the access point, site distance, drainage, pavement impacts, and work within the state right-of-way are reviewed by the Connecticut DOT. DOT has now completed its review of the revised plans. The key language in their letter is, "We find the proposal acceptable," with 2 further comments at this time. Those 2 comments are not about sightlines, they're not about driveway location, they're not about traffic safety. The first comment is that DOT needs proof of town approval before issuing an encroachment permit. The second is that documentation is needed from the sewer and water companies regarding ownership of the utility lines in the DOT right-of-way. So DOT has not rejected a driveway based on site distance or location. DOT has found the proposal acceptable, subject to 2 remaining administrative and utility-related items. The town engineer's own memo acknowledges the DOT has jurisdiction over the actual encroachment permit for the new driveway. We agree with this, and we just established that. We also understand the town has subdivision review authority, but the specific concern here is not an internal lot issue. It's the driveway connection and site distance at Route 27. That's a state highway access, Connecticut DOT, that Connecticut DOT reviewed. That's my other job. For that reason, I respectfully ask that the subdivision not be denied and that the driveway not be forced to relocate north based on a concern DOT did not raise in its review. I also want to be careful that any condition does not create a circular approval problem. Bob touched on this. Connecticut DOT's letter says proof of town approval is required before DOT issues an encroachment permit. So the town cannot require final DOT permit issuance before town approval because that would prevent the project from moving forward at all. We would accept a condition that no driveway construction or other work within the state right-of-way may begin until the DOT encroachment permit is issued. I believe the condition should not prevent subdivision approval, recording of the plan, town permits, or work outside the state right-of-way.
It's a better letter than the state normally issues. This is not a driveway leading to a major shopping center. Doesn't have an average daily traffic of 1,000 vehicles or anything like that. It's a residential driveway. We respect the fact that DOT regulates driveways and connections to state thoroughfares to the exclusion of the town. So all that is a matter of administrative policy that will create no confusion. I think our policies and procedures that are in effect, cover you on this.
Thank you.
You bet. Any more questions of the applicant?
I have one, I don't know, I read the Department of Planning comments here with regards to open space dedication. I don't know if you guys have read that comment, if you had any response.
Yes, I was made aware of the open space requirement and the potential for the fee in lieu of it.
Correct.
That's what I would like to move forward with.
Okay.
If the commission would consider making that a condition.
Fee in lieu of
Yes,
open space.
that's something, they want to make a condition
Okay.
of the subdivision, that's fine.
Any other questions, Ryan?
No, that's it.
Anyone else have any questions of the applicant?
No.
But that was my only question, the fee of the.
Fee in lieu.
Yeah.
Okay, very well, thank
For
you.
one lot subdivision?
Yeah.
If the applicant has no further matters for the commission and the commission has no further questions, what is the commission's pleasure on the application of Mr. Caleri?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the subdivision application of PZ 2611 SDD Caleri with the following 4 stipulations. Number 1, final plan shall be reviewed to the satisfaction of the town engineer and town planner. Number 2, open space dedication fee or fee in lieu of open space shall be provided. The applicant has agreed to do a fee in lieu of open space. And then number 3, prior to the issuance of the zoning permit, the final plan shall be signed by the commission and recorded in the town's land evidence record. So I only had 3 stipulations.
Okay, motion to approve with 3 stipulations by Ryan, seconded by Dave. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Chair abstains, motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is PZ 2612, Cam, M. Riley, and M. Zanfini, P. Springsteel, coastal area management review for the reconstruction of a single-family residence, associated site improvements, property located 183 Masons Island Road. Well, not block lot number 176-1-1, property is located in an RM15 zone. Evening, sir.
Good evening. Peter J. Springsteel, architect, here representing the Rileys, 183 Masons Island Road. What we're proposing here, this is a CAM application, is for the removal of an existing single-family house and reconstruction of same. The existing house is non-compliant in terms of the flood regulations. We're in a VE zone. In the rebuilding of the house, we're going to be now conforming to the flood regulations. We did do a CAM several months ago when we applied to the Zoning Board of Appeals for setback variances, and it was approved at that time. I had prepared the site plan based on a survey, and the last time around, I guess the town engineer didn't really have any comments. I submitted the same CAM this time around, and he had several comments which we're happy to take care of. I think the biggest one is that he wants a civil engineer to prove my work. So we're happy to do that. There were no negative impacts identified on the CAM report, and we've taken several measures to mitigate any additional water runoff and erosion control. So we basically got a conforming CAM application. That's it. Thank you.
Nice job. Is that your drawing?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Any questions of the applicant?
No, it looks easy, using the same septic system.
Yes. Yeah, Ledgelight approved the septic system,
Same well?
which was redone very recently, so that's why.
And it's no longer in the flood zone?
Septic system is in the flood zone.
No, I'm not talking about septic, the house.
The house is in the flood zone, but now it's conforming in that it's elevated and it's on piers.
Gotcha. Okay. Any staff comments?
No further questions from staff.
No staff comments. There's no further comments from the applicant, no further comments from the commission. What is your pleasure on the application of M. Riley and N. Zanfini?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the coastal area management application of M. Riley and N. Zamfini, PZ 2612 CAM, with the following 5 stipulations. Number 1, the applicant shall address the outstanding comments to the satisfaction of the town engineer and town planner. Number 2, any proposed alterations or modifications of the approved site plan as a result of comments from the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, CTD, shall be subject to review and approval by the town engineer, town planner, and commission as necessary. Number 3, final plan shall be reviewed to the satisfaction of the town engineer and town planner. Number 4, final plan shall be signed by the commission and recorded in the town's land evidence records. Number 5, the applicant shall post an erosion and sedimentation control bond prior to the issuance of a zoning permit. The bond shall be either in the form of a certified check or a revocable letter of credit meeting the requirements of ZR 15.4.3. The bond amount shall be established by the town engineer after an estimate of the cost of installing and maintaining appropriate erosion and sedimentation control measures is provided by the applicant and approved by the town engineer. Work shall remain bonded for a minimum of 1 year from the date of zoning compliance.
Motion to approve with stipulations by Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dave. Thank you both. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Chair abstains, motion passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
That's a good looking site plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Ed, I have to apologize to you. This meeting was slightly out of order. I hate to keep you out this late. You're the last item on the agenda, PZ 2613, SPA plus CAM, Latimer Point Condo Association Inc., Ed Lally representing. Site plan application, coastal area management review for construction of second story addition and detached garage property located at 200 Drive, Stonington, lot number 154-433-43, property located in R20 zone. You have the floor, Ed.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. For the record, my name is Ed Lally. I'm a licensed professional engineer and a land surveyor. I have an office in Windsor. I also have a seasonal cottage at Latimer Point Condominium Association. I'm a member of the board of directors, and I'm president of the fire district for the past 25 or 26 years. Latimer Point, just quickly, Latimer Point Condominium Association was a cluster of cottages built way before zoning, had more nonconformances than you can list. If you just went through the zoning regulations, you could just say non-conforming, non-conforming. The owners of Latimer Point Condominium Association formed Latimer Point Association, appealed to the Planning and Zoning Commission, I think in 1998, or perhaps it was 1999 when the actual motion was approved, for approval of a site plan. This removed all the existing nonconformances. It approved a site plan, and the agreement between Latimer Point Condominium Association and the town of Stonington was that if we made any change to a structure or a accessory structure, added rooftop, whatever, we had to come back for a revision to the site plan. And we've done that almost annually for the past quarter of a century. This is an application for a single unit, which is unusual. Usually we try to cluster them, but they're only one at this time. Unit number 43, it's at 2 Center Drive. It's in the RM20 zone. It's in the other area as far as floodplain, less than 0.2% chance of a flood in any given year, or some call it the 500-year flood zone. It's well out of the 100-year flood zone. As a condominium, there are no lots in Latimer Point, so it's one piece of property. We have side yard and front yard is on the very exterior portion of this 23-acre parcel. This parcel is well interior to that, so any side yards are imposed by the Latimer Point Condominium Associations through their Architectural Control Commission. So for the past 25 years, we've been keeping track of all of the various areas there, the first floor area, upper story, half story, 3/4 story, attic, basement, 50% above grade, utility storage, garage, carport, canopy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we present this to you each time to show you that Latimer Point as a whole does not exceed the hard surface coverage, or the floor area ratio, I should say. Not hard surface, floor area ratio. Right now we're at 11.6%. The RM20 allows 15%, so we're well under that. A little bit of our property is RM120 or R120, and so actual 15% is not the total permitted, but we're well under that at 11.6. The application consisted of a 21 site plan revision and coastal area management application. In that, we looked at the hard surface that exists on this lot, how much would be added by the new garage, 308 square feet. Under the new 2025 Connecticut stormwater quality regulation, this is not considered a directly connected impervious area. In other words, if you have a small rooftop and it runs over onto a large area of we have all sandy soil, grass and loam, it is not considered a pervious, an impervious area. It is considered pervious for the purposes of the regulation. But I considered it an impervious area, and we have runoff from the rooftop is 6 1/1000ths of an inch of rainfall for every inch that actually falls from the sky. There's no change in the roof. There's a change in the roof line, but no change in the roof area on the house. We're adding a second floor, so the roof is going up, and there's a bit of a change to the configuration of the roof. No increase in the roof area, so there's no increase in stormwater runoff from that. There's a new septic system being installed at this time, as well as the new garage, as well as raising the roof to incorporate a second floor. And the detailed plans of the septic system has been approved by the DEEP. They include extensive sedimentation erosion control, and we expect to issue the town a letter of credit or a bond to cover the costs of those items. As is usual, the application was reviewed. There are a couple of minor comments from the town staff. I believe all of those are either addressed or can be easily addressed as a condition of approval. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Just a comment. I'm hoping these maps, and I know I raised this question with you the last time you were here, I'm hoping these maps are in someone's hands that I know AutoCAD files are closely held, but when you're not doing this anymore, I'm hoping that the good work can be carried on.
Thank you. I semi-retired at age 70, which was 11 years ago. I sold my equipment, but not my business, to a person who worked for me for 28 years, TJ Bresci. he formed his own company, and he actually does the AutoCAD work for me on these. He has all my files, and he knows the rules. So thank you for your concern, but we've addressed that.
That is just a very meticulous set of records that, the likes of which I've never seen anywhere else. And
Thank you, sir.
you're to be commended. If there are no further questions of Mr. Lally, any staff comments?
I have 2 comments that Mr. Lally addressed on an email after the report was prepared.
Okay. Any other comments from the commission?
No, it looks good. I guess, are we gonna keep, they're gonna keep the floor area ratio and the rest of the towns going to?
No, they gotta convert to floor area ratio, but it's an easy thing, the way that it's set up, the matrix. So we now go, like every other town, we've gone to coverage, lot coverage. So floor area ratio is actually gonna give you a bonus. Is percent of lot coverage.
Yeah, the commission approved a regulation, an overlay regulation for Latimer Point. So we were working on floor area ratio because we're very concerned, we're self-governing and we're very concerned, been here since 42. My cottage has been there since 42. The first one was built in like 39. We're concerned it doesn't turn into a bunch of McMansions. So we're putting the squeeze on everybody and everybody's signed into that.
Okay.
Thank you.
That address your question?
No, I don't think we,
No, it sounds like the overlay regulation stays floor area ratio.
Yeah, it seems to me that.
I'll check it out with Candy.
Yeah.
I'll check it out with Candy. Anyone else, ladies? Nothing? Okay. Ed, do you have any further questions of the commission?
No, I did have one other issue, one other item I wanted to discuss, but I'm not sure it came from this commission, but after you vote, I would like 1 minute to discuss that issue. It's outside of this, I believe it's outside of this application.
So why don't we act on this and then we'll have our...
Thank you.
What's the commission's pleasure on the application of Latimer Point Condo Association?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the site plan application and coastal area management application for PZ 2613 Spa and Cam Latimer Point Condo Association with the following 4 stipulations. Excuse me. Number 1, the applicant shall address the outstanding comments to the satisfaction of the town planner. Number 2, final plan shall be reviewed to the satisfaction of the town planner. Number 3, final plan shall be signed by the commission and recorded in the town's land evidence records. And number 4, the applicant shall post an erosion and sedimentation control bond prior to the issuance of a zoning permit. The bond shall be either in the form of a certified check or a revocable letter of credit meeting the requirements of ZR 15.4.3. The bond amount shall be established by the town engineer after an estimate of the cost of installing and maintaining appropriate erosion and sedimentation control measures is provided by the applicant and approved by the town engineer. Work shall remain bonded for a minimum of 1 year from the date of zoning compliance.
Motion with 4 conditions by Ryan. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dave. Thank you both. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Chair abstains. Motion passes. Thank you, Ed. Your other issue?
Thank you. Yeah, this is something that happened this morning. I opened my email later this afternoon in preparation for this hearing, and I noted I got an email that's dated Tuesday, May 19, 2026. It was sent at 10:46 to me at edlally.com, and it's from the Town of Stonington Planning and Zoning Commission. It's over signature of Charles Sheehan, and it says, the correspondence pertains to the application submitted to the Town of Stonington Planning and Zoning Commission regarding the request of Ed Lally and Associates, Inc. for review and consideration. The applicant seeks review and approval of the following request. It goes on to talk about this application, all the specifics thereof. This is, I'm not saying it is, I'm saying it's signed by, or it's over your signature. I'll give it to you in a moment. And attached to that is an invoice from the Town of Stonington Planning and Zoning Commission, 204 Mistuxet Avenue, to Ed Lally and Associates, and I won't read all the details, but it's an itemized invoice for $4,999. And I think it's a scam, but I thought I should bring it to you. I hope it's a scam. I paid the $410 application fee.
I assure you it's not from me personally.
Okay, I don't think it is, but you might want to have somebody within the town look into this.
Yeah, in the meantime, please don't send any checks.
It sent chills up and down my spine. I'm like, oh my Lord.
Oh my God.
But in any case, I believe it's a scam, but it's a pretty good one.
Sophisticated one, yeah.
Yeah, it's not the first one I've seen. I saw another one a couple days ago for a different town. So there's something going wrong.
Then perhaps maybe on the town website, should there be
Yeah.
something that can be put to say, hey, we're aware of this type of scam. If you suspect it, please contact us, we can confirm.
Yeah, the town will never ask for water.
I'm sorry about this.
No.
Yeah,
Obviously, we have nothing.
we should
I'm
post
sitting on the wrong side of the
something on
table.
the website.
For the record, we have no knowledge of this.
Okay.
Well, you
Thank
can
you
make
so
the
much
check
for your
out to
Yeah,
REC.
you can include my name on that check, too.
Yeah. Well, they asked for wire transfer, and they, that raises a little suspicion. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to adjourn this hearing.
Motion to adjourn, no second required, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Meeting's adjourned.